distress. Good morning. Now, first of all, I'm not prejudiced. I hate everybody equally. Now, I'm going to beat up on the Christians here real quick for just 1 second. I'm going to beat up on the Christians because it's hard to explain myself when I claim to be part of this group. Now, anybody believes. Let's go to this here. First, wait, we can watch this because I'm going to explain a couple things here. We have the war drums are beating incredibly loud right now. The troops are moving in. Everybody's posturing. Now, this is all part of the puzzle, but the solution is so simple, but nobody wants to have a solution. There's too much money being made here. There's too many things going on, points that have to be proven, ideology. Now, and propaganda at the same time. Let's not forget that. Now, I'm going to beat up on the Christians here just for 1 minute. Now, I believe no religion holds the moral high ground here, okay? But, like I said, I'm part of this group, but they're a bunch of idiots, but I have to deal with it. Now, first of all, if anybody think, look at this, this is the map of the world right here. I like to use maps without the countries, so it makes my mind work, so I can name just about every country except for those little bastards in Africa and those new ones created after the Russian thing. I don't pay attention to those too much, but anyway, look at this. This is the world. Now, Christians, I'm going to beat up on you real quick. If you believe that an omnipotent, omnipresent, all-encompassing being that created this, created an amoeba, one-celled organism, up to the multi-celled, complex organisms, and things that we don't even know about, would come to this, wake up one day and say, damn, look at these people. I created them, and they were supposed to take care of the earth, and they're fucking it up. And, you know, I just wanted them to be a good place to live, a paradise, and now they're killing their own children and sacrificing their own children. What the fuck are they doing? So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to live a life of poverty and a nomad and on the run because everybody's trying to kill me. And then I'm going to, you know, be born from a woman, first of all, then, you know, be a nomadic on the run because everybody's trying to kill him from the time he was a child. And then come on the scene and help people, show them that they don't have to live the way they're living, and battle Satan himself, only to be skinned alive and beaten and hung on a pole to die a slow, just horrible, horrible, painful death. And then I'm going to say, I did it for you. How stupid is that? Just how ignorant would people believe? I mean, I just can't believe people even buy into that fucking philosophy. That train of thought, man. You know, it's not biblical. And don't tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about because I read it 3 times. Now, what we need to realize is that the Christ came here for one reason, and that was to battle Satan, defeat Satan. At that point, we could have nominated him king of the world, but we did not. We skinned him alive and made him, hung him on a pole, of course. And then not one person stepped up to say anything to save him. And then some idiot, probably some fat dick like John Hagee, steps up and said, he died for us. That's going to make us all not have to suffer and go through life. You know, what the fuck? You know, everybody's going to suffer. Look, one thing for sure is, in this life, nobody gets out alive, man. Nobody. So you got a choice. You can fight, or you can be compliant to whatever system is thrown in front of you on television. Everybody has a choice. Now, the reason I'm beating up on the Christians is because the Christians hold the biggest voting bloc in Washington. They even have their own building, office building, in Washington, D.C. It's tons and tons and tons of money, and they have tons of influence. Now, and still yet, the wars are going on. And still yet, we have, this morning in Ann Arbor, Michigan, there was a group of homeless people living in a field, and they're all over the United States. They're all over Michigan here too. The people that don't have anything, they're not counted as unemployed. They're just simply not participating. Well, when you're not participating in the workforce, basically, you're homeless. So they're living by some railroad tracks in the woods, and they come and bulldoze their homes, take all their meager belongings that they have, and leave them there. And now the people are saying that, well, we're staying here because we got no place to go. You know, the thing is, GM still owes the American taxpayer like $50 billion. They claim they could never ever pay back. we're giving billions of dollars to other countries to prop them up. Look what we're doing in Ukraine. In the meantime, people in Detroit can't pay their water bill, of course. Nobody's got money down there, man. People are just so broke. There's nothing. Like they did an interview with this guy. There was a shootout in Detroit on one of the local stations of Detroit, and they did an interview. And there's a guy, and they were interviewing him. He hadn't witnessed the shooting. And he said these shootings happen all the time. And the guy goes, well, why don't you guys just move to another neighborhood? He goes, look at us. And then he pointed to a bunch of people out in their porches and in yards and stuff just watching. He said, we can't afford to go anywhere. He says, we're stuck here. That's what the guy said. We're stuck here. These people in Detroit, we got no place to go. They got to deal with the shootings. And in the meantime, we're just throwing money all over the world, starting wars. And it's all about sacrifice. It's all about this sacrifice thing. Maybe that's why the Christian right likes it. So they love these sacrifices. And you know what's funny is these are the same people who believe that they're going to fly away. They're going to fly away. They don't have to fight. They can be a pussy. Satan's a pussy. They're a pussy. See, there's similarities there. They're pussies. Look, nobody gets out alive, you idiots. Nobody's going to fly away. Nobody gets out alive. You have to fight, or like I said, be in compliance. And the thing is, the Christian right has so much power up in Washington, and they don't use it. Now, remember I said that if people talk to God, basically, they're insane, okay? God doesn't come and talk to people. You know what? God doesn't like us very much. Yahweh, the Creator God. I don't know about the other ones. Isis, the Ishtar God, I guess she loves people. That's why they're sacrificing them all over there in Babylon right now. But remember this one? This one right here. This is funny. I do think of this sometimes. This is one where the Republicans claimed that God came down while they were in chambers and spoke to the Republicans all at once. Now, this was either mass hypnotism, a mass lie, because I think they believe it, or something happened here. It was demonic, totally demonic, and these people are all in on it, where God came and told the chambers, the people in the House, look, you got to keep Boner as a speaker. Now, right now, look what Boner's doing. He's suing Obama, and he's actually getting some popularity. And who's he really influencing the most? The Christian right. You know, look, this guy's insane. He talks to God. Anybody that was in there talking to God are fucking insane. They're hearing voices. They should be on medication, and they should be the hell out of our leadership positions. Okay. Now, you gonna fight, or are you gonna be a puss? Now, when I was in the Middle East, now, I'm not a war guy. You know, I was so happy that I never had to raise my weapon against anybody. I was in the military. There's a picture of me right there. That's me coming out of my bunker we had built. I was in the Sinai Desert on the peacekeeping force. I was a peacekeeping dude, you know. I wasn't really a war guy. I never got into the military very much. I did it because there was no jobs. And I just wanted a little bit of adventure, and I did because we're a peace people. You know, we got to really travel all over the world. We were always being deployed. I was with the Rapid Deployment, and we were always being deployed. And I got to travel all over the world in 4 years. And yeah, so it wasn't that bad. It was hard. I'm not good at taking orders. I'm not good. I'm a thinker. I'm like that kid that got caught by the Taliban, supposedly. He was a thinker, you know. I think too much, and that's the problem. You know, you can't think. Don't be here to. You're not here to think. And in fact, I can't help it. My mind just goes a million miles an hour all the time. Now, also, while I was over there, it was really cool here. I'm gonna go off the subject. This is my open water diver card, my PADI card. Now, it's international. Where's my international? International. Because when I was over in the Sinai, of course, we were on the Gulf of Aqaba, the Red Sea, and we just did tons and tons of diving. So that was a good experience. But while I was over there, I became really interested in the Middle East and the politics, and I spoke to a lot of Muslims. I went in their tents. We had tea. We talked about, you know, I talked about religion. I wanted to know about the Muslim religion and what they believed. And I learned a lot. And this was when I was just a kid, man. I was just a kid, you know. Damn, I always got too much sun back in those days. But anyway, still getting too much sun. It kind of bothers me. Anyway, while we were over there, while we were over there, sort of up and down the border of Israel and down through the lowlands of the Sinai, down to Dahab, and the Israelis went and they bombed a factory over there in Iraq that was creating a nuclear factory they were actually making nuclear waste and the stuff that goes with it to make bombs. I guess I don't know. But remember that this is the yellow cake uranium that was over there in Iraq. That was actually dispersed through the whole country. Now, why am I showing this? This is just a little tiny bit of the puzzle here. Have you noticed that all over the world, especially since the Iraqi war here, the amount of radiation has been just incredible. Either we're hearing more about it, or there's just more of the accidents and the dispersal through the atmosphere. Now, when I was over there, they bombed the factory. The factory was made into basically a storage area for the yellow cake uranium and other nasty shit. And then Iraq was actually taking it from other countries. And then we went in there bombing. And the international people that take care of this area, it wasn't ran by the people of Iraq. It was an international endeavor there to keep it going and keep it safe. They left because they were afraid that Americans were going to bomb the factory or the storage area. So people came in, the poor people came in, of course. They ransacked the place. They broke into the vaults, and they took out the containers of yellow cake, dumped it on the ground. They thought it was gold or something worth money, but they decided that they just wanted the containers. So they took the containers that the yellow cake was stored in, and they used it for water. They used it for food storage. The kids played in them. Some people actually lived in them, and they just dumped the yellow cake on the ground. And then what happened is that was right exactly at the time that we were invading. So these troops were actually coming in on Baghdad, and I believe the headlines for that day was "Yellow Haze over Baghdad as American troops approach." And it was kind of funny to me because all that yellow cake had been dispersed on the ground. The bombs came in. There was actually during that week, there was a sandstorm going on. So you had all this stuff being stirred up in the atmosphere, along with the yellow cake uranium that was just dumped on the ground. Like I said, helicopters came in. You ever seen a helicopter come in? They stir up a lot of dirt and dust. And I just thought I would mention that. But we've had more radiation leaks and more radiation problems. And now they're getting ready. Israel's getting ready to launch a tactical nuke, probably against Lebanon, and it's all got to do with those over there. It's those oil fields. They want to secure those oil fields, make sure they have complete control, and the sympathizers to the other side in the UN won't vote against Israel when they take control of those oil fields completely, 100%. And it's going to be a whole thing. Israel's going to launch. Now there'll be more radiation in the atmosphere. Now this is part of it. The people running this earth right now believe in one thing: total destruction of the earth. And this is the best way to do it. This is the best way right here, because it's complete. And once everything's dead and gone, it ain't coming back. Never. So this is total and complete. Destroy the world. Man has actually got the recipe. He has gotten the recipe. But remember, it's all about sacrifice. This is all about sacrifice, not just human sacrifice. Sacrifice of every living organism. This is total war. Total fucking war. You can be compliant, or you can, fight. You can do something. I make a YouTube video and I try to inform everybody I know. I don't know what else to do. I keep myself physically fit. I don't buy into the corporation crap. I try to stay away from all of it. I live local. I don't try not to go beyond my means, and I turn off the lights when I leave the room. I don't know what else to do right now at this point. I'm poor and everything. But no, I don't advocate violence ever, ever. This is not a physical war. This is a spiritual war, and everybody needs to understand that. Anyway, short video. I gotta get out of here, man. It's work time. Duck out.